then you got people that come up with their own opinions and then influence the people around them to follow their opinion.
And apparently this guy, this Floyd Ray Roseberry, did all this because he thought that the government was trying to push socialism on us.
There are segments of the government that are trying to push socialism, so he's not completely out of the reign of reality. But as in most insane fucking things,
He went about it wrong.
he did go about it wrong. But there's always some truth in the lies that you hear.
Okay, fair enough. And then, real quick, what would be your response to this? I believe he's a member of the House of Representatives, Mo Brooks from Alabama, who sympathized with this man about his concerns about socialism and how it's taking over the country.
I want to say that every I want to try to word this correctly. Just because a bad person does bad things does not make them 100% bad. Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, everyone has, moments of non-clarity, I would say.
Right. So he's probably, I'm not going to say that he's overreacting because he's probably been thinking about this for a very long time. But there doesn't mean that there's some cases of reality in the way he's thinking or truth to what he believes. But he just goes about it in the wrong ways. And to be completely honest, there's a very thin line between bravery to an extent and insanity.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. And any comments on that?
He basically said exactly what I was thinking, that in order to change stuff, you can't be too, I don't want to say outspoken, because that's exactly what you want to do, but you don't want to be overly aggressive with the way that you do things in a physical manner. You want to push your agenda maybe verbally before you start going into too much chaos, because that's never a good thing.
Right. Well, and enough research hasn't been done into the background yet as to how, much transpired on the verbal scale of this before it came to this. So,
right.
But this is my opinion. This is what I will say. Granted, yes, he probably does have mental illness. On top of that,
He could have mental illness.
he
have been persuaded.
He might not. He might have been like brainwashed or something. Who knows? But I mean,
Charles Manson did it.
basically saying that you're part of an organization that has like thousands of people trying to start like a new revolution and everything.
I just want to say
That's tough to stomach. It's tough to stomach.
to an extent, we're all brainwashed in a way. We've all been propagandized throughout television and schools, and basically, in many ways, cultures.
It's not my phone.
Yeah, cultures are developed in a propagandic way.
Right. But also, that's your own fault because you don't do the research. You don't formulate your own informed opinion. So, we basically the get out of that is we all got to do better. We all have to do better.
You can't just go along.
You can't just watch a video on YouTube and think that I know everything now.
Right.
And not only that, don't be afraid to be assertive.
Or
with
especially
your
the
opinion.
news. Sorry, I did.
But I was just saying, don't be afraid to be assertive with your opinion, because the other people are going to bark way louder than you, and they're going to get their way unless you and everybody else else says what's on their mind. So
if you don't stand up and say the things that you think, even if just because somebody's gonna be unhappy and it's gonna you can't just go along with everybody.
right.
If you just go along, then you're not an individual. You just become a drone.
Yeah, you're a drone. Exactly.
And I don't know if anybody saw the memes. It's been probably 4 or 5 years since the memes were going out, where there was like the NPC meme. Do you know what I'm talking about? Non-playable characters.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
a video
I did
game
see
thing.
that.
Basically, everybody's they want everybody to be an NPC, just like a fucking some random guy who
Yeah.
does his business and
Obedient worker.
yes. And I'm not an NPC. I mean, I to be honest with you, I could give a shit. Like if my company or whoever said that I had to act or be a certain way, I mean, I understand professionalism, and I'm not gonna go out spouting my politics in a workplace. But if they want me to, I don't know. There's lines that I'm not gonna cross. If they told me that I had to get the vax to go to work, I tell them to go fuck themselves.
Right.
Because it's my body. It's my body. I'm going to do with what I want in my body. Regardless if I wasn't even vaccinated. If I was vaccinated and they told me I had to be vaccinated, I wouldn't tell them that I was vaccinated anyways.
Well, let me put this in perspective for you. Them telling you that would be the same as them telling a pregnant woman that she would have to get an abortion.
And so here's I agree that
In my opinion,
abortion in some ways is murder.
Let's not go down the abortion rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's not abortion. It's an actual physical truth. When you go look for life on Mars, you're looking for bacteria. I mean, there's murder in every sense. You can fucking squash a fucking ant, and you could call it murder. I mean,
That's
there's
life.
Yeah, it's life in general. I have absolutely nothing wrong with abortion if you want to have abortion. It's not my place to tell you what you can and can't do. I do think there should be a discussion between a man and a woman, because I believe that's a shared thing.
decision.
That is a shared decision, in my opinion.
But that's not always
But
the case.
that's their thing. It's not my thing.
This is
I'm
another
not getting
discussion.
Mhm.
I'm not getting into anybody else's business on what they should or shouldn't do with their body. It's my decision on whether or not I want to take a medication or a drug, and it's their decision. If
Should
they
be
want to
your
do that.
decision too, whether or not you want to or don't want to take the vaccine as well.
Right.
So, okay, all right, it's good. Moving on.
I don't know what else is there.
Someone's got a phone.
Well, we should probably cut it off and try to figure out something else. Instead of just staring at
No,
each other.
I'm looking at you two gaze into each other's eyes.
I barely even look